1, 2, 3, 5!
So this morning we're going to be looking at 2 of the 4 operations and looking at more complex ways of using them. Now, in order to get a grade A in Year 8, you need to be able to manipulate the numbers and use appropriate written or digital technologies to find an answer. Now, really, when I was at school and was your age, we had to learn how to do long multiplication and long division because we didn't have calculators. And one of the things that my maths teacher said, oh, you won't always have a calculator in your pocket. Well, of course, now all of you do have a calculator in your pocket because you've got your phone. However, it's still really important that you know how to do long multiplication and long division, particularly when you get to year 11 if you do methods, because you'll need to do it algebraically. So it's really important that you do know how to do it. Because, you know, you might not have your phone with you. I know that sounds very, very unlikely because most of us are welded to them, aren't we? But you might not have your phone with you, or more likely, you'll have your phone with you, but it might have run out of charge. So we're going to look at some long multiplication. Now, you may have a different method or a different algorithm. I am going to teach you the way I do it for both long multiplication and long division. If you have a different way that you prefer, you are most welcome to use it, but I'm doing this so that I know I've taught you one way of doing it. So let's start with something like 62 multiplied by 24. I'm assuming that if I put 62 multiplied by 4 up, you would know exactly how to do it. So we're looking at double digit by double digit multiplication. Okay, so we need 3 lines underneath our columns, okay? And this one's dotted because these bits relate to each other. This one's solid because that's your answer, okay? First of all then, we've obviously got tens and we've got units. So where will we start? The units, that's right. And you could do the top number by the bottom number, but I always use the bottom number first. So I'll do 4 times 2 is 8, okay? Then 4 times 6 is 24, so that's 4, and then the 2 goes at the bottom, and then obviously we've not got anything else, so the 2 goes there. So 4 lots of 62 is 248. Now, so we've dealt with the 4. You don't have to tick it, I don't tick it, I'm just doing it for clarity. Then obviously we've got to multiply by this number. This is where your knowledge of place value helps. Is it a 2? What is it? 20. It's a 20, that's right. So, in order to make sure that you do it correctly, you need to put your 0 there, which will make sure that you're multiplying by a multiple of 10, okay? So now we go to the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 6 is 12. So we've multiplied all of the numbers out. Then we can just add them together. We've got 8, 4 and 4 is 8, 2 and 2 is 4, and 1. Now, the other way that you can do this is by a grid method, and you can partition the numbers. So, for instance, we've got 62 times 24. We'll use the same numbers just so that we can prove that both methods work. So what you do is you partition the numbers, which is what we were learning last lesson, into their constituent parts. So 62 is 60 and 2. Okay, 24 is 20 and 4. Then what you do is you multiply them against and you'll get 4 answers. So 60 times 20 is what?
1,200.
1,200, that's right, 1,200. 60 times 4, 240. 2 times 20 is 40, and 2 times 4 is 8. Then what you do is you just add those up. You could do it mentally if you wanted to, or you could use the column method. There you go, 8, 8, 4, 1. And lo and behold, by the magic of mathematics, the answers are the same, okay? So it depends which method you prefer. I prefer this method just because I think it's quicker, but this one is perfectly acceptable also. So who thinks they'd prefer this one? Okay, who thinks they'd like to use the grid method? Okay, fantastic. Right, so that's just for a double digit by a double digit. So let's do a triple digit, 138 multiplied by 49. Okay, very, very similar. Actually, let's make it by 249. We'll do that. Okay. So we've got a triple digit by a triple digit this time. So again, we start in the units. Got a 9 eighths. 72. Okay, so 7 down there and the 2 goes there. 9 threes.
27.
27. Add the 7.
32. 34.
27. 34. That's right. 34. 9 ones. Now add the 3.
12.
12. 1,242. Okay, so we've dealt with the 9. Now we're dealing with the 4. Again, it's not a 4, is it? What is it?
40.
It's a 40, so we need to put our 0 there. Okay? 4 eighths are
32.
32. 4 threes are, add the 3 is 15. 4 ones are, add the 1 is 5. So 5,520. And then we're going to multiply it by this 2, but again, it's not a 2, it's a what?
200.
It's 200. So we need to put 2 zeros there so that we've got the correct place value. So 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 3 is 6, add the 1 is 7, and 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, I need to extend my answer thing a little bit. And then all we do is just add them up. So 2, 6, 13, 6, 13, 14, and 1, 34,362. And again, if you wanted to, you could do it by the grid method. All you would happen is you would have 9 numbers to add up at the end, because you'd have to put the hundreds there, the tens there, the units there, the hundreds, the tens, the units. So you would partition them into 3. So you would end up with 9 numbers to add up. I feel once you're starting to get to 3, triple digit by triple digit, this is significantly quicker, I would say. But if you want to do it the grid method, you can. Okay, everyone all right? You're all with me? Fantastic. Okay, so let's move on to division, shall we? Has everyone written all of those down?
Yes.
Good. Now, generally, when you're doing division, you would use your calculator, okay? But if you can't use your calculator, there is a method for doing it. And have you seen the one with what we call, in England, we called it the bus stop? Yeah, so let's have a look at this number. We've got 6 into 1, 3, 4, 7, 9. Now, I can't guarantee it won't have a remainder because I'm just making it up. But if there's a remainder, we'll deal with it when we get there. Okay. So this bit here is your bus stop. I don't know why they call it the bus stop, they just do. So this time, I don't start with the units. Where do I start this time?
The 6. Don't you do 6 times
Furthest
1?
left.
Furthest left, that's right. So what we do, you start with this digit here, okay? Whereas when we were doing multiplication and addition, we started in the units column. This time we start over in this column here. So we do 6 into 1. Can 6 divided into 1? Can't do it, can you? So what I always do to make sure that you get your place value right is put your 0, because that shows that you know it doesn't divide into it and you've dealt with it. And then you move it across to the next column. So the next column will now be 13. 6's into 13. Goes 2, remainder 1. 6's into 14. 2, remainder 2. 6's into 27. 4, remainder 3. And 6 into 39. 6, remainder 6. 6, remainder 3. Sorry, because I've got 36 in my head. 6, remainder 3. Now, if you were asked to give that as a quotient, you would have, it would be 2,246 and 3 over 6, because it's 3 out of the 6 remaining. And then what would you do with the 3 over 6? Simplify it to a half, that's right. So, and then, because it's a nice one, you could convert it to a decimal if you wanted to. So it would be 2246.5. Okay. Would you like to just do one more with 1 digit, or are you happy to move on to 2 digit? 2 digit. Okay. So let's have a look. I've done some examples. We've got 16 into 256. Now, again, Mrs. Oakey and I were discussing this, and we were both taught how to do this, when we were young. We were both taught slightly different methods, so I'll show you both methods, and you can decide which one you like, okay? So we'll do my method first. So what I would do is 16 into 2, can't do it. Move it across. 16 into 25 goes 1, and then I will take the 16 away and get 9, and then I bring the 6 down to 96. Okay? So, if you wanted to, the other way you could do it is you could put the 9 up there. You could leave the 9 there and put it there. But actually, this is clearer. If you've got 16 into 25 goes 1, remainder 9, doesn't it? Because you take away the 16 from the 25 to find out what your remainder is. And then you bring that digit down to show what you've got to do then. So it's 16 into 96. Now, this is the tricky bit. How many 16s are there in 96? Now, there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can either write yourself a little list of the multiples of 16, like that. So, 16, 32, 48, 64, 18, 96. You can do it like that, or you can do it, when we've got the next one, we'll do it the other method because it's more appropriate with much bigger numbers, is you can estimate. So you could sort of say 16 into 96, well, how many do I think there might be? I think there might be 5. So over here, I'm going to do 16 times 5 and see where I get to. So 5 6s are 30, 5 1s are 5, add the 3 is 80. No, I'm not near enough. But if I add 16 on, that gets me to 96. So it's obvious that there are 6 16s in 96. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, right. Let's try another one. This one's a little bit more complex because it's a bigger number. So we've got 42 into 2,674. Again, I can't guarantee that it will be exact, but we'll see how we go. Okay. Now, with this one, 42 into 2, can't do it, can you? So you'd move that across to there. 42 into 26. Can't do that either, can you? So you'd move that, the 2 and the 6 over. So now we've got to work out how many 42s there are in 267.
Oh boy.
Now again, you could do it by doing the multiples. You could do 42 84, 126, 168, 210. Is that right? Yeah. 210. Yeah. 252. You could do it that way, or you could think to yourself, okay, I think there might be about 5. Let's have a look. 42 times 5. 5 2s are 10, 5 4s are 20. Oh no, there's not enough. So I need to add another one. Sorry, 210, because of that, yeah. There's not enough, so I need to add another one. Another 42 will get me to 252. So it's going to be times 6. Okay, so your 6 is going to go there, and then under here, underneath your 267, you're going to take away the 252 so that you know what the remainder is. So 5, 1, oh, so it's 15, and then you bring the 4 down, 154. How many 42s are there in 154? Well, if you've done the multiples, you can see that there are 3, and what's your remainder? 28, yeah. Your remainder is 28. So that one didn't work exactly, but it doesn't matter because you've still got the process. Okay, who is with me? Because this is one of those things that you sometimes have to do quite a few times to get